There was a new trailer for Avatar that came out a couple of days ago, almost 48 hours ago. And they've already had a teaser, you know, that's the way things work today. Today, getting a glimpse of a movie is like a three-course meal. You get the appetizer with the teaser. You know, they bring out the official the official trailer, and that's your dinner right there. And then they bring out the final trailer for dessert.
Dessert, yeah.
Treat them as our brothers and sisters.
Is it just me? And it might be. But are these cat people hotter now?
Oh, they're trying to make them hotter. That whole
yeah.
I know what James Cameron's trying to do.
Yeah, because I was like, kitty can get it over here, man.
Smooth my hair out away so you get a nice look of everything.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
Make them thicker too. I noticed that. I was like,
I mean, I'm not. Give you this. I keep saying it. But every trailer looks more amazing. Whatever the technique he wanted to use is working here.
Yeah, no, visually, yeah, no, it looks good.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see it, man. Like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of the first one, but I respect what it did, and I respect the people that love it. This one might, you know, I don't need a complicated story. It doesn't matter what I have to say about this movie.
Sure,
you ain't got to impress me. Well, actually, you do have to impress me. And about 1 billion other people like me.
A lot of people.
Yeah,
to
because
get their money.
What were you saying about this? For this movie to actually make its money back.
Break even.
To break even. What does it have to do?
$2 billion.
$2 billion?
$2 billion.
So it's got to be, they were saying it has to be the fourth or fifth highest grossing film in history. Not opening, but the highest grossing film in history has to be fifth or fourth highest grossing film to break even.
Break even. Correct.
Not make money.
No,
break even.
No, just to break even, which I'm like, is that even possible?
These cats got to put on a fucking great show.
A hell of a show to make that much money.
Now, I have some reasons to be skeptical of that, and it's not because I want to look down on this. It's not because I don't want this to be successful. But I think anybody would have to be skeptical when you hear something like that. But at the same time, it's James Cameron, and James Cameron has always surprises, man.
No, yes, yeah. Every time we've had any misgivings, he's gone ahead and he made two of the highest grossing films of all time, Titanic and Avatar. So it's like, okay.
So I would say if anybody can do it, James Cameron can.
Sure.
I'll tell you why I'm skeptical, and I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
Again, not because I want to see this fail. I'm skeptical because the last Avatar was, 10 years ago?
Yeah, over 10 years ago.
Over 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, 10 years, it might not seem like that long ago, but it is, and a lot can happen in a decade or over a decade, and the world was different at the time. And one of the biggest things that was different at the time is that we did not have streaming like we have now.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
And I think I think the strategy to make this actually be the fourth or fifth highest grossing movie of all time is that they would have to expand that window before it hits streaming.
Yeah.
They can't bring it home anytime soon.
No.
You can't just do, a month and then bring it on.
This won't be on Disney Plus for like 8 months. That's what they have to do, like basically a year.
That's what they have to do.
They have to do that, yeah.
And there was a time when you didn't have the home video market like it was now. I'm talking about not even with
the digital market.
Yeah, well, the digital market. But even at the time when you had in the beginning when videotape came out and slightly before video cassette came out, movies would be at the theater for like months.
That's true. Titanic did that.
Yeah,
that was there. I think that was in theaters like 13 months or something like that, and they kept it there for a long time because it kept making money. It was still in the top 5. That's the thing about James Cameron's movies is it's not that they'll have like $150 million opening weekend. It's just they consistently make 50 for subsequent weekends, and so because the original Avatar made $70 million its opening weekend.
Yeah, now there's a lot of factors here to say that can they act, because to me that's what it seems like. They're gonna have to keep this movie in the theater for months for them to make that money
and international markets.
Yeah. So there's a few factors here. Are people really going to return to the theater to see Avatar that much? Are other studios going to allow them to actually take up that space? You know.
Right.
And by the way, this is a Disney movie, so Disney, they don't have to worry about this movie competing with Marvel movies. You know, as long as this movie's dominating, they're fine.
Sure.
And Disney can make that happen if they wanted to, but that depends on if people are still going to see it after that time. And with streaming being what it is right now, even if this isn't going to become the streaming, are people's attention spans just shorter now because they say, well, you know, I've seen this a couple of times. It's going to be out at some point. In the meantime, it's not a matter of, I have a lot of choices. It's a matter of, man, there's too many choices right now.
There is so much content. Not only, I mean, one, we're already coming out of the pandemic, and there's more movies in theaters now than there ever has been. But there's also so much content on these streaming services. So many TV shows, so many movies being made for these streaming services.
Yeah.
It takes up your time. Like we are, I mean, yes, we part of our livelihood is based around reviewing movies and talking about movies. But then still, even for the average person, there's a lot of content out there. And which is a good thing, but it could take away business for something like this. Another factor we have to consider is this movie's over 3 hours, and so that's less screenings at the theater. That you know, and so whereas the original Avatar was not nearly as long. I'm curious. I'm very, very curious to see if he's able to capture, I guess, the spectacle. I'm sure he'll capture the spectacle of the original movie, but I'm wondering if they'll have that repeat viewers like the first one did. Because the reason why the movie was a success was not because of the story, not because of the characters, because of the spectacle. Yeah. And we get a lot of spectacle nowadays.
Yeah,
a lot
true.
of good spectacle.
Yeah,
so,
almost too much.
Almost too much. Yeah, you can argue.
Yeah.
So we'll see.